say every movie hides something, a secret, a clue, a hidden meaning. But what if I told you some films hide more than just a twist? What if they hide the truth? And once you see it, you can never ever unsee it. I never believed in stories like that. I thought they were just urban legends for late-night internet forums. That is, until last autumn when I stumbled upon a website called The Reels Archive. It wasn't on any search engine. It was buried deep within a forgotten corner of the internet, a digital ghost town. The site was filled with obscure short films, none of which I'd ever heard of. The homepage was unnervingly simple. A black background and a single line of white text that read, "The final frame always tells the truth." I figured it was just some edgy art project, a collection of student films trying to be profound. But that night, as the house grew quiet, curiosity gnawed at me. I clicked on the first film. It was called The Smile Behind the Glass. The quality was grainy, like old forgotten film stock. It was a 12-minute short set in what looked like a vintage movie theater from the 1950s. A woman sits completely alone, her eyes fixed on the silver screen as the lights flicker erratically behind her. The projection itself grows unstable. The film appears to melt mid-reel, and distorted faces flicker across the beam of light. But the most disturbing part wasn't the woman or the decaying film. It was the reflection in the glass of the projection booth window. In it, you could see her watching the screen, but there was another figure standing directly behind her. It made no sound, no movement, just a tall, pale, featureless silhouette standing perfectly still. My first thought was that it was clever filmmaking, a subtle horror element, but something felt off. I paused the video. Frame by frame, I scrubbed forward. The figure wasn't reflected in the polished backs of the empty seats. It wasn't anywhere else. It only existed in the glass. The next night, I felt an unsettling pull to go back. I watched another film. This one was titled Playback. It showed a man in an editing room reviewing hours of CCTV footage. He fast-forwards through empty hallways and quiet offices until, suddenly, every camera in the building flickers at once, and then he appears on all the screens in rooms he never even entered. But his reflection in the dark monitor doesn't match his movements. When he smiles at something off-screen, his reflection turns its head and looks straight into the camera. The film ends abruptly. No credits rolled. Just a single frame of white text on a black background. You're being watched too. I let out a nervous laugh. Okay, this had to be a web series, right? Some well-produced creepypasta. It was getting under my skin, but it was just a story. At night, as I shut down my computer, I noticed something strange. In the blank, dark monitor, I caught a faint outline, my own reflection. Except, my reflection didn't turn away when I did. For a split second, it just stared. I yanked the plug out of the wall and tried to sleep. For the next few days, I couldn't get it out of my head. The reflection, the unnerving message, the quiet, sterile horror of those videos. Against my better judgment, I went back. But the site had changed. The homepage was gone. In its place was just a single new film already loading. Titled The Audience Who Never Left. It opened with a low, deep hum like an old projector warming up. The screen showed rows upon rows of people sitting in a dark theater watching something the viewers couldn't see. Their faces were completely emotionless, washed pale in the flickering light from the screen. Camera panned slowly, methodically across each row. And then, in the very back, my blood ran cold. I froze. There was a seat with my name carved into the wooden armrest, my exact spelling, my handwriting, and in that seat sat someone. They were wearing my jacket. They had my hair. It was me. At that exact moment, the lights in my room flickered. For a second, I thought it was just a power surge. But when I looked at the reflection in my dark monitor again, the screen was black. Yet a faint white glow still outlined something standing behind me. I spun around in my chair. There was nothing there, just an empty room. I slammed my laptop shut, my heart pounding in my chest. The next day, I went searching for answers. I tried to find out who owned the Reels Archive, but the domain was gone. DNS records came up empty. All search history of it had vanished. It was like it never existed. Except for one thing, every single video I had watched had somehow downloaded itself onto my desktop. They were hidden inside a folder I didn't create, a folder named Watch, and inside that folder was a new video file. It was just called Untitled. With trembling hands, I opened it. It started like a normal home video, a quiet suburban house at night, a single lamp flickering in the corner of a room. Camera panned slowly toward a man sitting in front of a computer. The monitor screen was filled with static, which then slowly cleared, revealing my face, watching me, watching myself, on this exact night, wearing these exact clothes. The timestamp in the corner matched the precise moment I had opened the file, and in the background of that video, behind the version of me on screen, a faint, tall figure moved in the shadows. That was it. I unplugged everything, threw on my shoes, and ran outside for air. The night was cold and black, the streetlights flickering in the distance. And then from across the street in the reflection of a parked car's window, I saw it again. That same tall, pale figure standing right behind me. I just ran. For weeks, I couldn't look at screens. No phone, no laptop, no TV. Even mirrors made my skin crawl. Thought maybe, just maybe, it was over. That I had escaped it. Until last night, a notification appeared in my inbox. No sender, no subject line, just one attachment. Final_real.mp4. I don't remember downloading it. I don't remember clicking on it. But somehow it started playing on its own. It was the same dim theater from the very first video. The same silent rows of people staring forward. Projector flickered, its light cutting through a haze of smoke. And then, on the giant screen, my face appeared frozen, lifeless. A low, distorted whisper echoed through the speakers, a voice that sounded like grinding film reels. The final frame always tells the truth. The screen cut to black. But as the final second rolled, there was one more flash of distorted freeze frame of me, sitting in that theater chair, staring into the bright glow of the projector. Only this time, the reflection in the glass behind me smiled. You think the story ends there? It doesn't. Because now, every movie I watch, every video, every single reflection, I see it. That faint shape, always there, just out of focus like a shadow watching from behind the glass. And sometimes, in certain films, it moves. Sometimes it even turns to look at the camera. And sometimes, when the scene cuts to black, it doesn't. People think movies hide meaning, metaphors, clues, secrets in the story. But I've learned something far worse. Some movies aren't meant to entertain. They're meant to remember, because the truth isn't hidden in the story. It's hidden in the watcher, and once you've seen it, you can't go back. Now you know how some movies hide the truth right before your eyes. But ask yourself, when you finish watching this, whose reflection is watching you? Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss what's coming. Next, stay safe out there. It's been 3 months since I stopped watching movies. 3 months since she appeared, that pale reflection that never blinked, never moved, but somehow always watched. I threw away my laptop, smashed my TV, even covered every mirror in the house. But no matter how hard I tried to forget, the reflection found other ways. Because the truth doesn't need a screen to be seen. It just needs eyes. It started again last week. My friend Kyle sent me a link late at night. He said, "Bro, you need to see this, the creepiest fan theory ever." The link was to a YouTube video. Breakdown of hidden messages in old horror films. The thumbnail was black and red, and in the corner I saw something that made my blood run cold. The outline of that same pale figure, the same tilt of the head, the same faint grin. I didn't click, but YouTube did it for me. The video auto-played, static, a low hum, then the same whisper I'd heard before. The final frame always tells the truth. I yanked the power cord out, but the sound didn't stop. It echoed through the dark, like it was coming from inside the walls. And then my phone lit up on its own, camera app, recording. When I looked down at the screen, it wasn't showing my room. It was showing the old theater from the first video. Same rows, same flickering light, same empty seats. Until, row by row, the camera zoomed in. And there I was, sitting in the center seat, my face pale, eyes lifeless. Then the reflection appeared behind me again, slowly lifting a hand and resting it on my shoulder. The footage glitched, colors bleeding red. And just before the feed cut out, I heard a faint whisper. "Now it's your turn." The next morning, I found a flash drive sitting outside my door. No label, no sender, just one file. The reel continues, MP4. But I plugged it in. The video opened to a montage of random movie scenes, moments of laughter, fear, silence, all looping together like a broken reel. But as the clips played, noticed something horrifying. Every reflection in the background mirrors, windows, even puddles, all showed her. And every few seconds, the camera would flicker to black and reveal a frame of me, staring at the screen. Same clothes, same room, same timestamp as now. I wasn't watching the video. The video was watching me. That night, I called Kyle. He didn't pick up. When I finally reached him the next day, his voice was shaking. "Dude," he whispered, "I saw her." He said after watching that same video, his webcam turned on by itself. He saw his own reflection smiling at him when he wasn't smiling back. He unplugged everything and ran outside, but his phone screen glowed on its own, showing the same pale woman standing behind him in every reflection he passed. Windows, car doors, even the puddle by the street light. And then the call cut off. When I tried calling again, his number was disconnected. 2 nights later, I got a message from Kyle's number. It said only one thing: the next reel is ready. Attached was a video file. I pressed play and instantly regretted it. It was his room. The lights were off. The camera pointed toward the mirror. Kyle stood in front of it trembling, whispering something I couldn't understand. Then the reflection moved before he did. It smiled. He turned to run and the reflection stepped out of the glass. The screen went black, but when it came back, the camera showed an empty room and the mirror cracked in the shape of a hand. Since that night, mirrors don't reflect what's real anymore. They show what's coming. Yesterday, I caught my own reflection blinking a second after I did. Today, I saw her standing behind me in the corner of my eye. Everywhere I go, screens flicker, TVs glitch, phones freeze on a single image, that faint silhouette in the background. I don't even have internet anymore, but new videos keep appearing on my hard drive, each one labeled "now playing." Watched one final clip this morning. It showed dozens of people all sitting in the same theater, all staring blankly at the screen, their faces pale, lifeless, and then one by one, they turned their heads toward the camera, their eyes black, their mouths open in silent screams. Behind them, the figure walked between the rows, whispering in each ear. When she reached the camera, she looked directly into the lens and whispered, "You see it too now, don't you?" The frame froze. Then for a split second, I saw my own reflection sitting among them. Same jacket, same eyes, and when the video ended, my monitor stayed black, but in the reflection, the theater lights flickered to life again. Only this time, I wasn't the watcher anymore. I was part of the film. They say movies hide their truths in plain sight. But what if every story you've ever watched was never fiction, but a reflection waiting for you to look long enough to see it watching back? Now, look closely at your screen. Do you still see your reflection? Or has it started smiling yet?